Hey, Bitcoin and crypto traders, we've got daily consolidation underway, temporary tops being hit, little wave of short-term fear, some oversold bounce trades to go over for myself this morning, and we'll see if this daily consolidation remains healthy. All right, so here is daily consolidation underway. We can see there's no major red flags. If I want to be sure of that, I can measure the Fibonacci retracement. I go from the low of the move, the high, and I can see that we have not pulled back more than 382 at this point, which keeps a possible daily bull flag in the conversation. And of course, the daily EMA 12 holding keeps me confident in this consolidation at this point as well. So let's do a little bit of backtracking. And yesterday, actually, really, it was 2 days ago. As soon as we broke broke to a higher high here over 23,800, as soon as that's as much follow through as we saw into consolidation, I started scouting a rising wedge. And I was scouting the rising wedge because it's a bull break with a lack of follow through, which again just keeps me cautious. And we know daily consolidation has to happen at some point. So I was watching that. And this is the kind of scenario where I didn't even really need to draw an uptrend line because the 4-hour EMA 12 support was doing it for us, but I did. And then we ended up breaking resistance one more time to pretty much put an exclamation point on top of, yeah, watch out for that rising wedge. Because again, we broke resistance by $100 straight into a significant pullback. At that point in time, this is how I had drawn the rising wedge. And essentially I viewed it as a break below it, and then we came back into it. So I thought, okay, that pattern's not ideal, but I know to be cautious because of the bull breaks and a lack of follow through. In hindsight, it's a perfect rising wedge if I just had adjusted it to the new support level, and then obviously we dumped breaking below it. But the most important takeaway of that pattern, bull breaks with a lack of follow through. It shows us bulls are exhausted, and we know to be watching for consolidation when that takes place. You can also see the daily time frame just started slowing momentum, and now it's rolled over into daily consolidation. So my thought process was, okay, 4-hour rising wedge. Am I going to sell my swing position? No, because my swing position is based on the daily uptrend, and I'm anticipating a daily higher low is the most likely scenario from here. So I know that I'm going to sit through daily consolidation with my swing position. And the reason I'm doing that is because I also still have a good bit of cash on the side to take advantage of short-term opportunities. If I was all in Bitcoin, you better believe I'd sell at least half there to free up the cash to buy the daily consolidation. So I then said, all right, I'm just waiting for first hourly oversold conditions from here if I'm going to buy anything. We rolled over. We saw a lot of weakness. This weakness, in my opinion, is directly attributed to, number one, yes, we're due for daily consolidation, absolutely. But it was the dollar seeing a mini short squeeze. Keyword being mini. But if you look at this morning and you look at the charts, look what happened on all asset classes at 3:45 a.m. this morning until 5 whatever a.m. And you'll find that they all dumped. So 3:45 to 5:15, Bitcoin, where's 3:45? Right here. Where's 5:15? Right here. We saw another leg down. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But there was that weakness. You look at the stock market. 3:15 a.m. What happens? Dump. And there's your bottom. 5:45. You have gold and silver. Dump. 3:15. It actually was a little bit later. 4:30 a.m. Bottom just after 5. The way that it played out, and again, I can't stress enough by having your eyes on the entire market, because I saw this all happening and was very easily able to say, okay, metals are bouncing first. They found their bottom first, and it's one of the stronger bounces. S&P 500 found its bottom second. Bitcoin was the laggard on the bounce. It was the last to bounce, and it required one more flush down on this little bear flag. Flush down, break 22 psychological, straight into a $1,300 bounce, $1,400 bounce. So I was playing this oversold bounce. Hourly RSI was just tapping oversold conditions on this initial leg down. So I started playing here, and I had 5 scaling orders worth of cash. I scaled in one at 22.811, 22.711, 22.511. All of those filled on this flush. From there, I waited for this bounce, and I said, I'm not very confident in that bounce right now. That could be a bear flag. There's not any bull follow through. I sold a third of my 3 positions at 22.847, higher than my highest entry. So as soon as I do that, my break even on the 2 remaining positions drops down to 22,600, and I have 3 cash positions left. We then see another leg down. I add more. I buy the third that I sold back at 22,111. I then sold it again very quickly, protecting against the potential of a bear flag. 22,311. I sold it for a $200 gain, which drops my break even on my 2 remaining positions from 22.6 to 22.5. I now have 2 positions with an average of 22.5, and I've got 3 positions of cash. And at that point I said, all right, that's all I'm buying right now. If I'm going to add any other positions into weakness, it has to be the daily EMA 12, which was down in the 21,400s. Why? Because we have no support in this area. As soon as 22,200 broke here, very little support, and the only thing nearby is that daily EMA 12. So I took the cautious route. You're going to find if you do this strategy of how I trade these bounces, that there are going to be times where you sell your partial position way too early, which is what my last position was. I sold that last third at 22,311. And I could look at that and say, oh man, if I held that last position just a couple hours longer, it would have been this much higher. Again, my style is conservative, where I am going to leave money on the table as opposed to giving profits back. So I will always take that little early sell, because it's the difference between being in control of the trade and being out of control of the trade. If I did not sell a third of my position at 22,800s, I would have had a break even around 22,700, and we would have dropped down significantly lower, and I would have been stressing a little bit. I would have had less cash as a safety reserve for buying more significant oversold conditions, and I would not have been comfortable. As soon as I sell that partial position, I lower my break even and I free up cash for a potential another leg down. So from there, we just now have the market in price discovery mode, which means equilibriums. And we're just going from extreme fear to a significant bounce, definitely euphoria, $1,400 bounce. Euphoria as much as a bounce can give us. And then straight back to fear again, 5-minute oversold RSI. So our hourly, we got our high where we came from, low of the dump, lower high is 23,355, and now we're scouting a higher low compared to 21.90, 21.9. If I wanted to be real aggressive, I still got 3 cash positions. I could load up all 3 of those cash positions and put my stop under 21.9 to go real aggressive. Because if this is the bottom and we change the hourly trend from here, odds that this is a daily bull flag are going to remain very high. So there's different ways to play it, whether you're aggressive or conservative. I'm not going to go aggressive here, so I'm not going to add on this hourly high or low. I've got my additional position now with a break even. Oh, I sold more. I gotta keep going with the story. So I now have 2 out of 5 positions. I see the hourly bounce going. I say I'm selling half of my remaining 2 positions at hourly EMA 12, which I did at 23,089. Now my break even on the remaining position from what I have entered today is 22,000 even. That's extremely comfortable. If that position holds, I now have 25 to 30% more Bitcoin than I had in my initial swing position, and I will have a bigger swing position if that is our low and if this is a daily bull flag. I'm not going to stop out on that one position with a 22,000 break even if 21.9 breaks here, because again, I'm still anticipating a daily high or low. I'm going to be watching the daily 12 period EMA, and most importantly, I've got 4 positions worth of cash ready to go to work and keep buying this dip for the daily high or low. So that is where I stand right now. Best case scenario, my swing position is increased 25% in size, and we see a new all-time high, and I add to my winners. Worst case, we keep pulling back, and I have more cash to keep buying into that weakness. And if I were going to buy more, at this point, I would be waiting for a break of 21.9 and first 4-hour oversold conditions. So that's what I'm saving my cash for. And I got the game plan all laid out. That's it. Am I buying anything? No, not unless 4-hour RSI is oversold. Very simple if-then statement. If 4-hour RSI is not oversold, then I'm not adding anything to my position. Aside from that, just going to watch to see, can the bulls confirm an hourly trend change, or do we pull back enough that it's going to be an hourly equilibrium from here? We could drop to a lower low, but we would need real high bear volume for that to happen. And other than that, it's just a patient game. Can we change the hourly trend to increase the odds of a daily bull flag? If not, I'm looking for a bit more, and we'll see if we get 4-hour oversold conditions. So look at one other thing to note. Look at this 4-hour rising wedge bear break. This is just an example of people talk about the different time frames and how they're just fractals upon each other. Rising wedge, bear break. Look at the 5-minute time frame when we topped out on that hourly bounce. 5-minute rising wedge into the bear break. And if you toggle the 5-minute and the 4-hour time frames, let's get rid of these lines. Look at how similar these two setups are. Trying to line it up so I can flash back and forth. I guess that won't let me do that. Anyways, rising wedge, bear break. Rising wedge, bear break. They're just very similar patterns. One of them indicating daily consolidation, the other one indicating hourly consolidation. So, hourly higher low watch. If I woke up right now and said, oh man, I missed all his volatility, I would be looking for an hourly higher low playing off of 21.9. But I've got my position. I'm comfortable. It's in the green very comfortably at this point. It's small compared to what it was on this bounce, but it's what I want. It's an increased swing position trying for continuation. The Bitcoin dominance chart has done a bit unusual things. Normally the pattern is Bitcoin dominance will go up on the drop, showing us altcoins are dropping faster, and then it will drop on the bounce, showing us altcoins are bouncing faster. Right now, we are seeing this right here was Bitcoin breaking 22,000 and seeing another leg down, and this shows me that the altcoins did not see that leg down that Bitcoin saw with that quick flush, and that Bitcoin is bouncing more significantly than altcoins. And I'm talking about altcoins as a majority and an average. There are definitely altcoins that are going to be bouncing more and altcoins that are going to be bouncing less. But on the whole, the Bitcoin bulls are outpacing the altcoin bulls on this hourly bounce. And again, that is not the usual as how this plays out. And even right now, we are seeing that the altcoins on this current hourly consolidation are dropping a lot harder. And ETH shows you that. Look at ETH getting right down low, 1% away from the low here. And Bitcoin got 3% from the low. Very big difference. So ETH has to hold this low and break 621 to confirm an hourly trend change. The daily time frame, the consolidation is already much more significant. This is a daily rising wedge. Why? Because we have a bull break with no follow through. So I would be watching, I'd probably zoom in to the 12-hour chart. More of a channel. Want to get those other levels in here. I like that one. So that's what I'd be watching. It's condensing a little bit. Just something to keep an eye on. The daily uptrend matters most to us. And there is tons of space for a daily high or low. But again, we're pulling back enough now where bulls will have to be cautious of the potential that once we do find this daily high or low, that it just leads to a daily lower high. And then we would have to be cautious of a confirmed daily downtrend leading to weekly consolidation. So have to see, where does our daily high or low form first? That's the most important question. But again, if we're just comparing fibs and comparing the Bitcoin move to the ETH move, we've now pulled back over 50% and more like 55% compared to Bitcoin's 35%. Very big difference. And we see that in the ETH BTC chart being very bearish. We're in a downtrend on the weekly, daily, and 4-hour time frame. So most important support is being tested, 2629. It's a double bottom at the moment. If that breaks, the weekly downtrend continues. ETH has just really underperformed Bitcoin significantly over the last month. And we got to call it like it is. That is what is happening. Whether you're an ETH bull or not, that is a very significant shift in the relationship between BTC and ETH. And it's a very key support test. Bulls are hoping for a daily oversold bounce to hold it. The 4-hour RSI is beat up, but look at the 4-hour EMA 12 resistance. I've made a couple small attempts to shift my Bitcoin holdings swing position into a little bit more ETH, but I stopped out, and that is because of the continued relative weakness of ETH versus BTC. If we do not get over 4-hour EMA 12 resistance, then the bears have complete control. XRP USD, I want to highlight here the inability to change daily trends. It's great at squeezing shorts real quick, but the lack of follow through is extremely notable. Big bull move, no daily trend change. Daily lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, big little short, big little sizable, solid short squeeze, no trend change. So bulls are good at squeezing shorts, but they are not good at seeing sustained follow through. Bulls would have to hold 437 and break 66 to change that. If that does not happen, then bears keep complete control of this daily downtrend. So that's a key support approaching. And if the XRP BTC chart, we can see it's at a fresh low here, 2263, just barely broke, not a lot of follow through, but it has been nothing but a short squeeze, no daily follow through from that short squeeze, and nothing but a downtrend since then. LTC USD, daily consolidation underway, same story as ETH, starting to pull back a bit more than the bulls would like. Definitely looking for a higher low, still holding EMA 12 support, but at this point we are pulling back a solid 20% plus from that high. Same thing, we need the hourly trend change back to the bulls for this bounce to get follow through. Then we would zoom out and scout a 4-hour lower high, but one time frame at a time. All bulls need an hourly trend change from here. BNB USDT, starting to pay attention for a number of reasons. The biggest and most important reason is we're close to all-time highs. We just hit a higher high, again, no follow through, but after that 35.69 level, we're looking up at that all-time high, 39.59, just 12% away or so. So keeping an eye on it, because if this BNB BTC chart, decent bounce the past few days, but still a clear downtrend, if this changes momentum, Binance is positioned well, the US dollar pairing near its all-time high, where any weekly bounce on this Bitcoin pairing could take us to new all-time highs. So again, nothing actionable, but just keeping an eye on it in the short term. We'll end it here with GRT. A lot of traders in the chat room watching this one. Huge volatility. And just an all-out move. Coinbase, it's been on here for 3 days. Temporary top is easily hit at this point. And a nice bottom fishing play here. We bounced off 50 cents. Significant bounce up to 67. And then here's your bottom fishing play. We drop down to 52. So making an entry in the low 50s. Put your stop under 50. If the bulls change the hourly trend back in their favor, we zoom out and we look for a 4-hour lower high compared to 81. And you have to check different exchanges. Some of them have a different all-time high level because it is thinly traded, but a ton of volatility in both directions. And just like everybody else, Bitcoin included, can we change the hourly trend back to the bulls? So establish your game plan. Daily consolidation is underway. If we see another leg down, Bitcoin 4-hour oversold is what we're going to be watching for. And bulls want to set this daily high or low as soon as possible. It is worth noting, I talked about it on social media, that the Twitter conversation between Saylor, is that his last name? CEO of MSRT, talking to Elon Musk of Tesla. And Saylor and MSRT now have purchased over $1 billion in Bitcoin over the last few weeks or couple months. They just press released this morning about an additional $600 million. But I talked about it in the past where just that is an instant all-in headline. If there is news that Tesla is putting some of their cash into Bitcoin, that's the kind of position, that's the kind of news that I just go all in instantly. And if I want to be protective, I then start scaling out fairly quickly to lower my break even. But just something to be aware of. If you want a maximum hype FOMO headline, Tesla and Bitcoin, I mean, that would just be hype and euphoria galore. So Bitcoin has no red flags on the daily time frame. That can definitely change. We're going to be keeping a close eye on it. Losing the daily EMA 12 from here would be a red flag for me. The strongest daily charts will hold that back test, set that daily high or low, and stay strong. We'll check back in probably tomorrow. We'll see how it shapes up. I hope you have a good rest of your day.